Welcome to the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay. This is your positive path for spiritual living.
God is talking to one of his angels and says, "Do you know what I have just done? I just created a 24-hour period of alternating light and darkness on earth. Isn't that good?" And the angel says, "Yes, but what will you do now?" And God replied, "I think I'll just call it a day." I love it, but the miracle of a day, and just calling it one more day, because the reality is that, we experience miracle after miracle, and miracles are a daily occurrence in our lives. Actually, it's a moment-by-moment experience for us if we choose to be open to seeing it for what that moment is. We call something a miracle without realizing that everything that is within a sacred opportunity, a sacred moment, the here and the now, is filled with all that God is, and it is the place of birthing all that God is. And yes, it may be a mystery to us how to truly experience these miracles or what the miracles may actually look like, but I believe that we can trust and have faith that miracles are taking place in our lives. It is up to us to really recognize and to celebrate moment by moment these miracles. Last week, I shared with you how we are all miracle makers and how we have everything within us to be able to create the experiences and the life that other people may call miraculous. And we could just reply to it and say, it's just another day. It's just another day of me living into my truth, and it's just another day of me being able to express that truth and make miracles happen even for other people. And so life is full of this mystery that we create these miracles out of, and it's really interesting to me that we can get bogged down in how things should be, or how and I say this for myself because I get bogged down in it, without being able to step back and realizing that in that moment, even when I am in fear, even when I am in doubt, there is the opportunity to recognize the very activity of God as a miracle, working miracles in our lives. Gabby Bernstein, in the chapters of the book that we are reading, The Universe Has Your Back, for our SpiritGroups program, in the chapters this week, she talked about her relationship with Wayne Dyer, and I love this quote from Wayne Dyer. "Our present moment is a mystery that we are part of. Here and now is where all the wonder of life lies hidden." What this moment is, what is hidden within this here and now, is miraculous, and it's up to us to just make the commitment to see it that way. Gabby says that's like the first step. Just make the commitment, really live into the commitment of experiencing life as a miracle. And however that mystery is showing up in your life, for some of you, the mystery can even be where you're asking yourself, how can life get this good? Because you may be experiencing that kind of life. For others, the question and the mystery could be like, are we going to make it to 2021? There's mystery in both those questions, right? For me, one of the things that we are invited into is, yes, to own and recognize that there is mystery in the moment, there is mystery in our life, and that we can envision the way in which that mysterious and loving, wonderful energy could express itself out in our experience, in our life, in the world. And so the question is, how can you live into that greater vision and use the mystery of the universe to support you in moving into it more fully? And so for us, I think, and for me, especially this week, I'm really trying to think about that vision, feel into that vision, and believe in that vision. Have you taken a moment to do that for yourself this week? Have you taken a moment to do that during this period of time to really think about what it is, that vision? Yeah, so, okay, how are we going to get to 2021? Well, what do you want 2021 to actually even look like? What do you want next month to look like for you? And to really think about the ways in which you want to experience God and experience peace and love, whatever it is that you want to experience, what does that look like? So think about it. Really take the time to put into practice journaling, questioning, whatever it is, to get more clear about that vision. How do you want 2021? How do you want the next moment to be different than this moment itself? How do you want to be a greater expression of all that God is next moment? And then ask yourself in that moment, okay, well, now what's next? What is the greater vision for the following moment, right? And then feel into it. Really live into the vision that you have for yourself, whatever that may be. Think your way into experiencing it. And that's, for some of us, just taking a breath and using the power of our imagination to see it as such and see and really feel it as such, that it is already done. For others, it may just be even thinking about what it is that I want to feel, like we talked about last week. What is it? And then to move into believing it, to really trust that it will come to fruition, to really trust that it will be manifested or something better. I remember when I first walked into Unity and we would teach affirmative prayer, we would always say that, or something better is sort of the silent end to any prayer. I pray for this or something better. And that's one of the beautiful things about the feeling into your vision, because if you really want to experience a feeling of love, and you think that that's going to show up as sort of like an experience A, well, if you're clear that what you want to experience is the feeling of love, even if you actually go into experience B, but feel love, then you'll know your vision will have come true, the something greater. Gabby Bernstein says, hard work, passion, and commitment can bring you all the support you need to fulfill your life's purpose, whatever you're envisioning. Certainty in the outcome, however, is the secret ingredient. When we are certain, we can relax into a sense of knowing and faith. And so I don't need to know what the full journey looks like, but I can trust where I'm going, where I'm heading, the direction that I'm going into. Right? And yeah, I know it's easy to just say, well, believe it and trust it, right? But how do you go about building that trust? And I love that Gabby Bernstein says, well, have a relationship with the universe, because I've had those practices. I've had those experiences of building a relationship that then has built trust and faith. Think about your most intimate relationships and the ways in which in some of them you've had to work to build that trust, but how beautiful it is that you have gone to the point of being able to trust in that individual, have faith in that relationship. And so we get to do that with the universe also. In order for us to live into this space of faith and trust, we have to develop this relationship, and it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes conviction and knowing that we have to sometimes step it up. I love that, when some of you may know this story, but when I first met my now husband, it was during a really busy time for me. And so I was traveling. And so even before we got to go on our first real date, we ended up talking on the phone for weeks at a time. And so we built a relationship even before we got to go on our first date. And I believe that trust and that faith that we build and that commonality, right, that we build is a secret to the fact that we've been together as long as we have, right? And so how can you build this relationship? Well, Gabby tells us that we can really just commit to knowing it. So how do you commit to knowing the universe more, right? For in an intimate relationship, you put time and effort into it. You ask questions. You call your best friend up and you ask, hey, do you know anything about so-and-so, right? So study it, take classes, listen to services, Find out the practices that really invite you to learn the truth of the universe and what the universe is here to create and manifest in your life. Go deep into meditation practices in order to really know the universe, the power of God in expression more deeply. Talk to it. Call it up, right? Like as you're walking through the streets and you see something beautiful, that is a beautiful thing you just created there, universe. As you experience something that you like, whoa, that was great, universe. As you experience something that you don't like, ooh, universe, I'm not sure about that. Talk to it and develop a rapport with the universe. Be a partner to it. Ask what it needs from you. So many times, in our relationships, it's not just about fulfilling our needs, but asking, what does our partner in this relationship need from us? So in order for so-and-so to happen, universe, what is it that you need from me? What is it that you need me to do or express more fully? And have that conversation and listen. Listen in those moments. I love the quote by Rumi that says, the quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. And so pray and speak to the universe, but also meditate and become quiet, still, and hear what the universe is asking from you. Be in gratitude. Say thank you. Think about the relationships that you have, how much greater and how much deeper and how much more loving they have become when we allow ourselves to step into a greater sense of gratitude for that individual, for whatever they stand for, whatever they bring into our life. So when you do recognize the many miracles that are happening in your life, say thank you. Thank you, life, for this experience. Thank you, universe. Thank you, God, that I am living through this moment. And create healthy boundaries, like in any relationships. As I said, it's not just about saying what it is that we want, but also recognizing what we don't want. So if you don't want certain things to take place in your life, be clear, set the boundaries. I don't want this kind of relationship. I don't want this kind of experience. I don't want this kind of me showing up in the world, and create those healthy boundaries. And when you feel that you aren't necessarily connecting, use that, hotline, use the phone. And for the universe, to me, that is going into prayer. Going into prayer and affirming that relationship, the power of that relationship. One of the things that I love about prayer is that it refocuses us. So a lot of times when we aren't feeling right in our relationships, what are we doing? We're focusing on fears. We're focusing on our need to control. We're focusing on the shoulds and shouldn'ts, right? And so prayer in our relationship with the universe is what invites us out of those fears to affirm truth, to affirm what is really going on. And then we just let it flow. We let it flow. We let the universe do its thing. We really trust that it does that. And through that, we really are able to experience life as miracles. Through that, we are really able to experience more of what the universe wants to bring into our relationship. And it really is a way for us to continue to trust more and more. See, the more that we look for the miracles, the more we will see that they are taking place, the more that we will trust that they will continue to take place. And as Gabby Bernstein says, your faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. But you have to expect it. And you have to get out of the way for it to show up. We have to look for it. This weekend, or last weekend, we had Farm Share, and we were able to see the fact that we were feeding over 500 families as a miracle. But what about looking at the miracle of us coming together? The miracle of the rain coming down and making it cooler. The miracle of us being able to say, oh, I'm grateful for the rain. Look for the miracles. And that reminds me of this song that it's one of my favorite songs from when I first walked into Unity on the Bay. And you know what? Here goes nothing. I want to share it with you today. I'm looking for a miracle. expecting the impossible. I feel the intangible. I see the invisible. I'm looking for a miracle, expecting the impossible. I feel the intangible. I see the invisible. The sky is the limit to what I can have. The sky is the limit to what I can have. The sky is the limit to what I can have. Believe and receive it, God will perform it today. Hey, hey, believe and receive it, God will perform it today. I expect a miracle every day. God will make a way out of the way. I expect a miracle every day. God will make a way out of the way. I expect a miracle every day. God will make a way out of the way. I expect a miracle every day. God will make a way out of the way. Believe and receive it, God will perform it today. Hey, hey, receive and believe it, God will perform it today. Here goes nothing, and I trust that if you knew that song, you sang it along, you may have recognized I messed up in a couple of the words, but still, the energy is true. Believe in the miracles and let the universe show up and express them. Be certain that the mystery that we are living into is good, and it brings good into your lives. As Charles Fillmore, co-founder, says, people are to be the electric lights that glow with a perpetual current from the one omnipresent energy. Be filled with that energy. Trust the universe and expect the miracles in your day, every day, in every moment. You won't be disappointed. God bless. Well, you know, one of the things that Gabby Bernstein also says in these chapters that we're looking at is to feel the faithful energy that our faith stories bring up for us, and that if we may not experience it in our own faith stories, to look at other people's faith stories and be energized by them, because we really want to plug into that energy of trust and faith. And it came at the perfect time, because we have just begun a program that I really want all of you to participate in, because it is about trusting, it is about faith, and it is about sharing our energy and our stories to lift each other up. And we do it through the Abundance Experiment. I want to invite you to go to our website and learn more about this program. It's about saying yes to living life as a miracle in all aspects of our lives, and to see how we can build our trust and faith through the practice of tithing. And there are a couple of different levels of actually giving during this 3-month program that will support you in growing and deepening that energy. So join me, join the rest of us that are in this program, and let's ignite each other in this energy of trust. Have a great day, and I really trust that we will share the experiences of the Abundance Experiment together.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay, a spiritual community located in Miami, Florida. Unity on the Bay is supported by the generosity of its community. If you'd like to make a donation or learn more about Unity on the Bay, please visit unityonthebay.org. You can also follow Unity on the Bay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for even more positive spiritual inspiration. Until next time, thanks for listening and many blessings. Namaste.